Blair Show backstage at the second annual Dime Bash, with all proceeds going to the Ronnie James Dio Stand Up and Shout Cancer Fund. And I'm here with bassist James LoMenzo. How you doing, James?
Eric, I'm doing great. It's great to be on the Eric Blair Show one more time. And I got to tell you guys, man, this is an event you really should be here. Duff McKagan is playing Guns N' Roses songs as we speak.
And you know what? It's sounding great.
Sounds amazing. He's got Jerry Cantrell up there, and who else? Well, I can't identify everybody, but my God, they sound great.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, we came here early, and we saw a sound check with, listen to this, Geezer Butler, Tom Morello, Vinny Appice, and David Drainman are preparing to do Mob Rules live.
Who are these people?
And I mean, for us.
No, I mean, that's terrifying important. I get that. Totally. Yeah, I mean, for me too.
Well, you and me, man, we are huge fans of Geezer Butler.
Totally. I mean, I'm a giant fan of Geezer Butler. If it wasn't for the time I saw Geezer Butler at California Jam, I probably would have been playing with a pick very politely. And then I saw Geezer playing at that show, and I thought, oh, that's the way you should play bass guitar. He changed my life.
Even though I've been that close to him, I still do not understand how he gets the speed. That is just amazing.
So you know what? It's willpower. It really, I mean, honestly, I've been thinking about this myself, because a lot of times people go, all right, we're going to do an Anthrax song, we're going to do a Megadeth song or something fast. And I always go, that goes beyond my realm. But then all of a sudden you think, man, that's a challenge. I'm totally on that. And you know what a lot of the great thrash bands did, like Metallica and all that? They kind of took what they saw out in the world and they said, we can pump this way up. And so there's something very powerful about being able to maintain at that kind of trajectory. And when I saw Geezer Butler play, like I said, at California Jam, I thought, you know what? Not only is he flamboyant, but it sounds great. You know, it's not just showmanship. It's like, it's a style. It's some way I can apply my bass playing.
Now, James, you've been out on the road. You were out on the road with the Dio Disciples for a while, right?
For most of the summer, yeah. For a good 3-4 week run, yes.
Now, we talked to you before you went out on that tour.
Do I look any older?
No.
Really?
What? Tell me some of the highlights of that experience for you.
Well, the highlights are simply, it's the same highlights everywhere you go. The highlight for me was seeing the kids in the crowd, you out there. I mean, coming up and kind of getting together with us and really celebrating Ronnie's life. And it's just like, it's kind of like we thought our best hopes were like it would be like that. But then when we actually showed up and we saw people with tears in their eyes, and we had them too. I mean, we really did. You know, because it's very special. I know a lot of people said, oh, they're cashing in, they're trying to make some money. Well, there's some money there, but it's not a fortune in fool's gold. But truly, the Dio band was with Ronnie James Dio. They love the man. I met the man. I love the man. He wasn't hard to love. He was a very open, genuine person. So to go out there and share that with the fans and play his music and bring it back to them, especially a year after he passed away, I mean, it was very poignant for all of us. And I can't really put it into words, although I kind of did in a way, but I can't put it into words of like the way I really felt. It really warmed my heart. It was great to see it.
Now, tell me, did you ever have an encounter with Dimebag Darrell?
Oh, many times.
And tell me about one of the special encounters you had with him.
I'll tell you, I've hung out with him many times when I was in Black Label, and it was drinking and carousing and getting nuts, blah, blah, blah. But the most special time I had with him was I had just joined the David Lee Roth band. And I wasn't down on my luck, but at the same time, I wasn't like in that kind of realm that I tend to travel in and all these other people do. So I was at the NAMM show, and I think it was probably around 1999 or 2000. And there I was with Ray Luzier and Toshi Ikeda. We had a band called the Hideous Sun Demons. And so we had to drop our stuff off in front of the Marriott, our equipment, to play at a small booth, the Roto Sound booth, which is a string company I endorse, and just to play a few songs. And like we were that into like being there and playing our music that we were willing to like just kind of do that. And it's really slumming. It's what most bands do. I understand that. And so I'm standing there, and the guys dropped me off the equipment. They had to find parking. So it was just me and the equipment, and from behind me I hear about a block away, "Hey, LoMenzo!" And I said, who the fuck is this? And I turn around, and it's Dime, and it's his brother Vinny. But it was mostly Dime doing all the noise. He comes running up to me, gives me a big hug, and goes, "Oh, dude, how you doing? What you doing today?" I said, "Well, we're gonna jam today." Goes, "That's fucking great. You gonna play at this thing?" "Yeah." And dude, he just lifted me right off the ground. He was that kind of guy. And I mean, that's why, you know, any chance I can have to kind of tell you people, participate in this, tell you what he was about. One of the best, most genuine souls I probably ever met in my life. Great guitar player, great musician, but aside from that, whenever you were alone with him, and I'm sure I'm not the only one saying this, he made you feel like you're the most special person in the room. And so I remember that day overall. Many times after that, we hung out, we got drunk, we were on Ozfest and all that, you know, Zakk Wylde and the whole Black Label thing. We had great times, but that's the one that stands out in my mind because that really showed me the character of the person.
Now, James, what are you doing now?
I actually just got back at 2 a.m. with Ripper. I've been running all over the world with the Hail Band, which is a tribute to heavy metal music. This time around, we had Tim Ripper Owens singing, we had Paul Bostaff from Testament playing drums and Slayer, and we had my old buddy Glenn Drover playing guitar. And so we bring metal to the masses in the most far-reaching corners of the world. And again, one of the more gratifying things, it almost feels like giving back in a way, because we get to go to these small towns in Siberia, throughout the Ukraine, and really kind of bring them what they love, and they get to kind of meet people that they've seen on records, and they get very excited, and they bring us on, you know, things to sign and stuff like that. It's really a great experience.
Black Label Society.
2 albums, probably 3 years.
What? Name the albums.
It would be, well, it started with Hangover music. I played on a good deal of that. And then Mafia.
Mafia. That album.
I'm just your suicide messiah.
Yeah, dude, your bass playing is monstrous on that record.
I appreciate that, but what's better than my bass playing on that record is the intro to Electric Hellfire. That's me. I am the god of Electric Hellfire, and I bring you.
That seems like a very tough, intense crowd to be touring with. But you seem like such a down-to-earth, you know, like you got your feet on the ground kind of guy.
Yeah.
So, how did that work?
Well, it worked well for about 2 years.
That's a party on wheels.
It's you know what, Black Label, and I guess I'll pump it up in this regard. It's beyond a party. It is. I mean, it truly is a way of life. My favorite show these days is probably the Sons of Anarchy, and not too divergent.
We want to thank you so much for being on the Blairing Out with Eric Blair show. You are a great human being.
Eric Blair, I always love being on the Eric Blair show. Let's blare it out loud with Eric Blair!
Yeah!
The Blairing Out show.